and thanks for your interest in our company. I have the great opportunity here to present to you Amniotics and what we're working with. So if we look at the agenda, we have a quick and kind of busy time here for the 15 minutes where we're going to do the pitch and going through it. So if we start out with the executive summary, Amniotics is a biopharmaceutical company developing mesenchymal stem cells for different indications based on the tissue relevance. We have focused right now on COVID-19 related ARDS and later on IPF. We have a unique technology based on collecting mesenchymal stem cells from full-term amniotic fluid, meaning that when you get a cesarean, we have a device that when the amniotic membrane is exposed, our device can go through, penetrate the amniotic membrane, and the amniotic fluid will, you could say, run off into our device and into our bags that will then later on come to our facility where we'll continue expanding these cells and work with them and making them enhancement. Our business model is bringing it forward. So we are just, you could say, we have a full GMP facility. So we also both producing, manufacturing, and later on we can go directly into clinical trials, or we can sub-license to other companies at different stages of the development. Our initial business focus is on lung indications, and that's also where we have our most advanced pipeline product, the PulmoStem, that we'll speak a little more into later into this pitch. Our business focus is around, you could say, rare or orphan indications, because you could say we are working with stem cells. Hence, these treatments will be pricey, of course, and it's not going to go and treat an enormous amount of patients. However, you could say one donation reached roughly around 6,000 patients. So you could say a single donation will come a long way for treatments. Our technology platform is, as mentioned, based on extracting amniotic fluid from planned C-sections. So we're doing that locally here in Sweden. And you could say prenatal deposited cells and hereby also mesenchymal stem cells into the amniotic fluid because they're completely surrounded by them. They're also swallowing the fluid, and hence you could say they're going both into the lungs and into their organs, and then they pee it out. And therefore, we can take these tissue relevant cells. So we have the lung, we have the skin, we have the kidney, and we even have those coming through from the brain. These are believed to be very potent and having potentially better therapeutic efficacy than you could say mesenchymal stem cells coming from other organs or sources. We have, you could say, made sure to have IP across our full process. We'll go a little more into that later on. But what's also interesting here is you could see that what our indication shows that we have a stronger proliferation than comparable starting material. As mentioned, we have these tissue-specific or tissue-relevant mesenchymal stem cells that we believe that will place into each of their different disease areas based on their organs for which they have a relevance or specificity towards. So we have the lung-specific, the PulmoStem, that's going for lung indications. We have the skin-specific or coochie stem going for different, you could say, dermatology indications. We have the kidney-relevant, our nephrostem going for kidney indications. And then we have the neuronal, our cognistem going for different neuronal indications. We have built our own GMP facility, sorry, and we can therefore produce the product all the way through to clinical trials and later on to the market. We have a fully certified GMP production facility. We have what's called tissue establishment, meaning that we are able to collect the cells and store them. And we have the manufacturing authorization for our products moving forward. And that, you could say, making us able to move forward rather quickly when we have our full process set up and structured. A little overview again on the processes we are working with and how we are dealing with this. So we have our CE marked device, meaning that it's authorized and able to use in the EU and the rest of the world where that legislation is approved. That device is able to, you could say, to collect the amniotic fluid and used at planned C-sections or cesareans. Then the fluid is, you could say, transported to our facilities where we work with the fluid, select the specific cells and enhancement, moving forward into the different tissue specificities, and then can later on go directly into clinical trials or potentially as an out-licensing potential. So as you could also see, and what all our IP is around, is that we are controlling the full value chain with our cutting edge technology. So we have, you can say, a new, different starting material, which enable us to have both neonatal and tissue-relevant MSCs, or mesenchymal stem cells, able to going for the specific indications affecting the same organ or tissue. Our intellectual property is, as mentioned, that we are making sure that we have IP across our full process. So we have IP around our device, how we handle the fluid, all the way onto our different therapy indications. Our pipeline is right now mostly focused on the pulmostem because that's our most advanced product. And you could say with COVID-19 related ARDS, there's a huge unmet need here still, even with the vaccines coming. And we certainly see that we have a big potential. We also have preclinical data supporting this. So right now we are planning for a clinical trial and looking to submit clinical trial applications in the summer of 2021. Also, we have IPS focused, which of course enable us to expand into other indications with this type of technology. And right now you could say we have strong IP around how in vitro to have IPS and differentiating them towards hematopoietic stem cells, which can later on being used for bone marrow transplantations and that sort of products. Hematopoietic stem cells are, of course, able to rebuild the entire hematopoietic system in the patients after an infusion. And therefore, we see a strong and high unmet need in this area because you could say the hematopoietic stem cell transplant market is highly valued. It's also very expensive. And there's still a lot of patients that can't find a good donor for this. It's also possible to genetic engineer these cells, enabling them for treatments of different indications, such as genetic indications or cellular therapy in oncology. So our milestones have, until now, you could say, being mostly focused on making sure that we have the full processes built, we have the facilities built, and we are able to roll. So we have had, of course, different capitalizations or raising money across the years. And also just last year, we got the CE mark on our device, enabling us to structure that part straight out. We have also manufactured the first batches, the first technical batches of our pulmostem. We've received certification for GMP production, tissue establishments, and manufacturing authorizations. Lastly, we did a direct share issue here in December 2020, and now we are rolling forward as quickly as possible. So this was a rather quick walkthrough of Amniotics value pipeline, and what we envision that we can do now. So thank you for your time, and you are welcome to reach out.